Hey everybody, Jacob Godar here. Today I'm talking to you about the number one most important piece of business advice I have ever got. I'm sure you've heard it. I'm not sure how much you've paid attention to it. And this has truly been monumental. I've heard this from mentors. I've heard this just from watching and reading and learning. And it's been this resounding thing that it's always being said. But what does it mean and how important is it? Because it's truly something that guides the total overall success of your business. And if you're struggling in business, there's a really good chance that this is the reason. So the number one thing I can tell you about a thing that's gonna make your business better is knowing your numbers. You must know your numbers. What does that mean? That's the thing in business. When I've been learning, I always hear something like, what does that actually mean? What do I do with that? I literally don't know what I do with that. I'm lost. Now, knowing your numbers was something for me that I think it came easier for me. One of the things about numbers is it's not a sexy conversation. It's not fun. It's not, here's this new big truck I'm buying. Here's this new excavator I'm buying. Here's this mower we're getting. We're buying this. We're doing that. We're hiring these. We're marketing here. The numbers aren't sexy. And I think the only reason I have been really comfortable with numbers is that was the one class I was good at in school. You know, when I was in school, I felt stupid in everything else. You know, I didn't like to read because I felt stupid when I had to read. You know, I didn't like a lot of areas of school because I didn't care. But math and numbers was that one area of school where I really felt strong in. And so, as mentioned, numbers aren't a sexy conversation. It's not something like, I'm a geek. I'll talk about them all the time to the point where it upsets my wife. And I get it. Who wants to hear about numbers or what kind of money you think you can make with this new plan or this new thing that's going to increase your profitability by this, and this, or how we can change small little percentages here, and here in the business so we can make a 10% increase if we charge this much more on our labor rate or scrub this expense off over here. Like, it's, you know, that's just not the most fun thing to talk about in business, but knowing your numbers is true power. It's truly what's going to allow you to go out and do the sexy things, buy the equipment, hire the people, do the exciting stuff, push the limit of your business. So what does knowing numbers mean to me? What does that have to at least boil down to? To me, that is easily summarized in at least knowing a labor rate that needs to be charged per person on given teams, whether that be landscaping, whether that be lawn care, whether that be the spray techs, whatever it is, even if the garage door installer techs, whatever. Knowing X amount per dollar that you need to charge for them. So if you're shooting for $1 million goal, $100,000 goal, $500,000 goal, whatever, knowing what kind of people that's going to take, shooting towards that goal, and with that many people on the team, like what are you going to have to be charging per hour spread across that to recover your overhead, to cover all of the office people, and even if you don't have office people, there's still overhead you have to cover. So just let's think a little bit bigger scale than not really having an office yet. But so covering office admin, covering the software systems that take to run this, covering office rent or shop rent, covering all of these things that aren't directly in your cost of goods. They're the overhead that really makes it possible for the whole thing to spin. And knowing, like, for me, it's really powerful to know this is the amount per hour that we need to be recouping in overhead. This is the amount per hour we need to be charging for the labor. Combined, we're going to have a rate that theoretically is going to cover all of our costs. And we're going to also know where we break even, where this is where we have to be to, like, well, we didn't make money, but we at least didn't lose money. These are all very powerful tools. And knowing, I think the thing that blew my mind the most about numbers, as I have spent a lot of time learning about this is all kind of like, it's made up. Your budgets, your ambitions, your goals, you don't know if you're for sure going to hit them. We're going to try to crush those. But sometimes you miss your targets. And if your budget was set at $1 million and you did 900,000, well, you might not have been charging enough either way. So this is the best analysis and the best picture of what we're going to try to do, and we're going to hypothesize here on this is the situation. We're going to try to be as close to accurate as possible. Sometimes we're going to use benchmarks, sometimes we're going to use stuff that we historically know about our business, and then we're going to use those to make the numbers moving forward into the future. And you can have so much more confidence when you know what you need to be charging. Now, is it still going to take knowledge and time and learning to know how much time does this specific task cost or take? How much time does that job, how long is it going to take for the labor to get that done to truly know you're hitting your numbers right? Yes. But knowing your numbers then allows you the power of job costing. You can use reports and CRMs that say, okay, the Mo team spent this much time, this was their clock time, here's their man-hour rate for the day. Cool. Reports there. You can do job costing on every project to see if your labor and your material came in on budget, or you went over budget or under budget, and those things guide the business and guide you towards profitability. And as much as all of this isn't fun, all of these things from knowing your numbers, and then with those numbers being able to job cost, and then with that course correcting to make sure you're heading in the right direction so you can have all the fun stuff we talked about earlier. Basically, what knowing your numbers allows you to do is guide your business towards being more profitable. Guide you to knowing where things need to be changed so you can make more money, so you yourself can have a better life, so your team can have a better life. And this is all really, really big, because I think most people get into business because they want to make a lot of money, they want to earn a lot of money, and they want to affect the people around them. So they want to take on a lot of risk because they want to earn money, and then they want to be able to bring, I believe, a good owner, entrepreneur wants to create a lot of opportunity for his employees, her employees, and also wants to really affect the community in a positive way by donating, by doing charities, by supporting teams, by sponsoring things. And all of this takes you knowing your numbers. You get mental solitude from knowing your numbers and being able to not just be wondering constantly, man, it's what they're charging. Is it the right amount for me? And truly, it doesn't take that long to figure out your numbers. It doesn't take that long to use budgeting tools out there. I've got a budgeting tool. Element has a budgeting tool. We just had Jim Houston in the office here over the weekend. He is like the industry renowned guy with numbers in estimating. And you can go to resources like that can help you know, like, where are you at on your numbers? How good are your numbers? How much do you need to change? What things do you need to learn? And I don't care how good you think you are. Like, I personally, I regard myself really, really well with numbers. But I still know that, like, Jim comes in and I learn even more. And then I'm going to try to find the next person to learn even more. And then I'm going to read and learn even more, because you can never be too good at anything. You can never be too good at knowing how to drive profitability in your business, because it affects all aspects. It affects all the cool things that are going to come down the road. So the number one piece of information, the number one hint, the number one trick, if there was a silver bullet, knowing your numbers is that bullet. Knowing what it costs to run your business, knowing what you have to charge, and then feeling confident about it because you truly know that isn't just, it is still kind of a made up number. Get that. This shit's made up. Because you don't know where any of this is going to shake out. But at least you have now taken your hypotheses, I think that's how you say that, and what you have as far as information currently available, and you've came up with something that then boils down into an actual number that's not just, this company charges it, so I will too. So, do you know your numbers? Do you know your hourly rates? Do you know what it costs you to break, or do you know where you break even on certain services? Do you know what your overhead costs per hour? If you don't know these numbers, they sound hard because it sounds like it's really, really complex. In all reality, it's not. It just takes some time. If you don't know these numbers, I implore you to learn how to get there. Learn how to be studious of this topic. So you might not want to talk about this all the time, but you need to know some stuff to better your company and to feel more comfortable with the things you're doing and maybe the risks and the things that you're pushing into. So leave it in the comments below if you know your numbers. Leave it in the comments below if you're learning to know your numbers, and leave it in the comments below if you hate numbers and you would just want help. And I'm sure there's a million people, including me, GrowCom, anybody else, that would love to help you.